Hey, everybody, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News. And we're back with another edition of the TelCloud Pots and Shots podcast series. And we have with us again Jake Jacoby of TelCloud. Jake, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Doug. Happy to be here.
So this is exciting. We're learning about POTS replacement, which couldn't be more timely, great opportunity, but it's a kind of must-do thing for many of your customers and clients. And at the same time, we're taking a tour of the world's best tequilas. So we're going to stay tuned, everybody. We're going to be with that in just a few minutes. But for now, we're going to be talking about fewer truck rolls, more control, carrier-grade gear with remote reboot. And already I'm liking the sound of that, Jake. No one likes to do a truck roll.
Right. Absolutely. Right. You want to get your equipment installed and you want to be able to monitor it and maintain it and update it, reboot it, without ever having to roll another truck. So that's what we achieve it.
And as we just jump into this topic, let's stay with that truck roll thing, because we were just talking about this before we started. Especially on this topic where you're replacing pots and you're talking about emergency communication, they're probably already not liking you by the time you're rolling a truck.
Yeah, I mean, if we have to roll a truck, there's a problem, right? And so,
Right.
When our last episode we talked about 5 nines of uptime, the way that you achieve that is you create redundancies. Part of that redundancy is access to that equipment. So everything that we do, our entire platform has been engineered so that we can remotely manage it. At TelCloud, we view that on-premise equipment as just part of our network, right? So think of having this global network, and it extends not only past the data centers, but into the customer locations. And if you can't touch and, remotely touch and control and update and manage that equipment, then you really don't have control of your own network. So that we extend our reach into there. And then we have integrations with the cellular routers, the best in the industry, like Ericsson, Peplink, Digi, InHand, and Seago, like all of these different cellular routers. We've done that integration so that we can remotely touch and reboot them as well. So cellular connectivity is a big part of, our solution. So it's TelCloud solution integrated with these other third parties and being able to manage the entire thing without ever having to send a truck out, right? The only time we technically should send a truck is if the business is no longer in business and we need to retrieve the equipment. But other than that, we show up, we install, that equipment's going to sit there for the next 10 to 20 years, and it's going to be maintained by us remotely.
So wait, you're actually in touch with everything you're installing. You're actually
Absolutely.
monitoring it. It's not forgotten or lost in space.
Yeah, exactly. So think about that. It's like every time, again, like little nodes, right?
Right.
Just like the phone companies did. That's exactly what we are. We are a global telecommunications company. And so we're installing equipment at the customer location. It becomes part of our network in order to guarantee and deliver that service. Again, like we talked in our last episode, these are life safety lines for the most part, right? Reliability has to be 5 nines, has to be, there when an emergency happens. And so the only way to do that is to monitor, maintain, and, that network. And it just becomes an extension of our network.
And part of that is remote reboot. Is that right?
That's right. So go ahead. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
So yeah, our device is I've got some of these devices here back in the lab, kind of mad scientist lab here, but we test everything, right? We go through those devices, and the devices are very sophisticated in that they touch other pieces. Like I said, Ericsson routers or InHand or whatnot, Digi. We connect them to our devices, and then we have the ability to now, through that connection, whether it's a wireless connection or actually wired connection, have the ability to remotely reboot, reset, upgrade, firmware upgrade, downgrade, whatever it may be, configuration change. All of that works with our platform. We actually have the ability to power cycle things too. A lot of times, if you've Now, you've been working on computers, right? You know that if something goes wrong, what do you have to do? Typically just reboot it first, right? You do it to even though your phone may stay up for months, right? But you have a problem with it, you simply reboot it. So we have things like watchdogs that will go and look for services that are having issues that can remotely reboot or upgrade or find vulnerabilities as well. So security is a big part of this as well. You can't just leave something in technology, especially on a network out there, and not maintain it. So you have to do that. So that's all part of our service, and that's when our channel and our resellers are selling TelCloud. It's part of what they're getting. They know that we're maintaining it, we're upgrading it, we're watching it, and providing all that to ultimately the end customer.
So if I'm the reseller and I am selling this solution, how does this help me with my margins?
Yeah. So you know, part of this is that when you sell a solution, one, it's not just about selling it, right? So again, the money in this business is not just selling this equipment and being one and done. Like they're not just buying a TV and then, that's it,
Right.
right? They're buying a service, really. So in order to really make money on that service, you have to continue to provide that service for many years to come, right? That's the recurring revenue piece of this. It's very lucrative, but it's also providing a very valuable service to that end customer. That's why they pay for it every single month. So if you don't have the ability to do that, or you didn't have the network tools or the monitoring tools or the back end in order to do that, you would simply, if you're trying to do this on your own, you're going out placing equipment and then you have to go back to maintain it. That just doesn't. So what TelCloud has done is we've built platforms. We built this platform and built the tools to be able to manage all of this, which enables that reseller to be very efficient and everybody to be very efficient and make sure that we're delivering the highest level of service to that end customer, right? So when we do that, they don't have to roll another truck. When you roll a truck, that's hundreds of dollars, and it's a waste of time and effort and money. And it's a bad experience, like you said, for the customer. The customer, like, think about your cable modem at home, right? If your cable's not working and the person has to come out and fix it or swap it out, I mean, that's not a great experience, right? So, and you don't get to watch TV or have internet at that time, right? That's a bad experience. But when it comes to a life safety line, that's a critical experience, right? That's life safety at risk. So like we talked about in last episode of 5 nines, it has to be redundant, has to stay up, and we have to have a network that we don't have to physically touch, we remotely touch. And so we built all that into our platform.
Does the customer win as well?
Absolutely, right? So what does the customer want at the end of the day? They want a service that's affordable, that's going to work. And again, remember, it's required by law, right? So what doesn't work for the customer is, shopping around, trying to find a system, finally making a decision, spending money, going through the effort of getting that new service up and running, and then it doesn't work, right? It's very frustrating. Now you have to start that entire process again. The better experience is to, find a trusted partner, which we have, hundreds of them, that can help educate and show these customers the path and then provide that service and then be accountable to deliver that service to the customer, right? It's win-win-win, right? The customer wins, the reseller wins, TelCloud wins. And as long as that ecosystem, stays there, right? Everybody is on this, looking the same way. So, and it works for everybody, including the end customer.
So now we get to the part of our podcast. For those who have not watched this before, we get to learn about the world's best tequilas, as well as learning about the best way to do POTS replacement. So Jake, what do you have for us today?
All right. Today I've got one called Terralta. It is a reposado tequila. There is a brand. I'm going to read this here for a second. So there's it's a fourth brand by a gentleman named Felipe Caminera, And so he is famous for another tequila called G4. We'll introduce that another time. But this is another tequila from him. It's very clean, organic, definitely, medium priced, but it's a reposado. I love reposados. I like blancos, but the little bit of aging, again, 6 to 12 months, I think from an oak barrel brings in some flavors, but definitely check this one out. Terralta. And if you see that on the shelf or in a restaurant, definitely try it out. Highly
Now,
recommend it.
now I noticed the in our last podcast you featured a crystal clear tequila. This one has a little bit of color.
Yeah, so that color comes so the reposado means rested, means it was aged. So
Ah,
this tequila, this Terra Alta, they have a version which is a blanco. So the blanco is how it starts. They put it in an oak barrel, and that's where it gets that color from. It's pulling from the wood and the oak and then aging it. And so it gives it a little bit of different flavor. So the nice thing about these is, and if you try them, well, what I suggest is try the blanco, sip that, and try the reposado. Then if you keep this in that oak barrel for longer, it's going to be in añejo, meaning aged even further. And then there's an extra añejo, which means aged even longer. So just a little nuance of it, but you can, same tequila, just depends on how long it was aged and what it was aged in, just like
yep.
wines.
By the way,
Yeah.
for everybody watching this and maybe actually trying some of this, these are sipping tequilas. This is not for
Right.
mixing, right? This is not
Right.
for your,
Absolutely.
yeah. All right.
Yes.
Well, Jake, I really want to thank you for joining me today. This has been very interesting as always. For folks that are viewing this podcast as the first one, this is actually part of an ongoing series. There's actually a baker's dozen of these podcasts up on our website, so go look at that. It's very educational. We do the same thing each time. We do little pots, then we do a little bit of shots. The next edition we're going to be talking about is pots replacement isn't just a sale, it's part of lasting customer loyalty. So I think we're going to be getting into the trusted advisor thing. But for now, where can we learn more about TellCloud?
Yeah, thanks, Doug. Definitely, you can go to our website, tellcloud.com. You can see all the Pots and Shots episodes there as well. Find out some more information about, our technology and our network. We are a back-end white labeled provider, which means that you as a reseller can put your brand on our back end and bring it to your customers as that trusted advisor, which we'll talk about next week. But yeah, or give us a call, 844-900-2270. We'd love to talk to you.
And if you've never even been a partner of TellCloud's, you can start.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have many different programs, right? So we have programs where you can buy everything from us wholesale and then bring a custom solution based on your specific offering. We have providers that are telcos, right, that need this part of what we do and bring their telco infrastructure. And then we have resellers that are just trusted advisors and want us to do everything for them, but still have maintained that relationship with their customer. The biggest thing that, one of the biggest things that TellCloud brings to the reseller community is you're able to maintain that relationship with your customer, right? We're not taking that over for you. We may be doing potentially the majority of the work, but it's your customer. Your customer wants to work with you. And that's a big part of this and big part of maintaining. Again, you're in business for this. You want to maintain that customer and provide them with the best service, which allows for recurring revenue for you as a reseller and reliable service to your customer for many years to come. So we'd love to talk to you about that at TellCloud.
All right. Well, see you at the next one.
See you next time, Doug.